Please rise and join the senior band members for the playing of our national anthem.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Jackie Shan, co-president of Student Council. I'd like to welcome friends, family, faculty, and those joining us through the live stream to the commencement ceremony for the class of 2021. Each of you have made an impact on the graduates here today, and for that, we thank you. Thank you to the junior and senior class orchestra under the direction of Mrs. Letcher and Mrs. Brooks for their beautiful prelude music. Thank you to the band under the direction of Mr. Pettit for their performance of the national anthem, as well as the trumpet fanfare. Thank you to Mr. Hamilton and the tech team for putting the live stream together so that we were able to share the ceremony with all those who could not be in attendance today. Before we begin, I'd like to introduce some people in attendance today and recognize their importance in our school corporation. On my left, we have Principal Ronald Schreiner, Associate Principal Mr. Dan Walbaum, our faculty speaker for tonight, Mr. David Wood, Student Council sponsor and Counseling Department Head, Mrs. Libby Sheffield. I'd also like to recognize our West Lafayette School Corporation Board of Trustees, which are seated to my right, President, Mr. Alan Karpick, Vice President, Dr. Karen Springer, Secretary, Mr. Bradley Marley, Mrs. Amy Austin, Mr. Thomas Schott, Mrs. Rachel Witt, Dr. Yue Yin, and the Superintendent of Schools, Dr. Rocky Killian. And I'd like to thank the rest of the administration, Assistant Principal Mr. Eric Ulrich, Assistant Principal Mrs. Shelby Johnson, and the Athletic Director, Mr. Joel Strode. It's my honor to stand here before you all at graduation, an event that didn't feel quite real to me until I sat down to write this speech. Even as little freshmen, we knew that one day we would graduate and our time at Westside would come to an end. To me, graduating high school never really felt like a goal. Rather, I worked towards smaller achievements along the way and somehow actually made it to the finish line. However, looking back on our 4 years, we've all worked incredibly hard and reached so many of our own goals along the way. I started high school setting academic goals for myself. GPAs, 93s, and getting an A on the next test were my benchmarks. It drove me to work hard, to study, and to learn. These goals taught me to push myself and how to make the most of my classes. When I didn't meet them, I learned how to reevaluate and improve. However, academic goals are not the only thing that defines our success. As I completed more years of high school, I found so much fulfillment outside of my classes. Clubs, sports, debate, and even just connecting with my friends all became part of my ambitions. A faster time in swimming, a productive club meeting, these were new facets of my life in which I was succeeding. For every freshman with one goal in high school, walking the halls of Westside with a narrow idea of success and how to achieve it, there are hundreds of seniors who have grown from their experiences and are prepared to take on our futures. That's you all. That's us. We all have some ambitions and plans for our lives, and our time here has prepared us to go out and achieve those goals. But life happens. Goals can change, we can change, and I urge you to trust that it will be okay. As long as we keep setting our bars high, pushing forward, and learning from our mistakes as we move on to bigger and better things, I know we will all keep growing. Keep your eye on where you want to go, but also appreciate where you are now. 4 years of high school flew by, and personally, I remember moments of my time here far more than any A on a test. Think about how much you've changed in your time at Westside, and just imagine how much you'll change in the next 4 years. I hope you all can enjoy the adventure that will come. I'd like now to pass it on to my good friend and co-president, Hamza Ali.
It's a little windy. That's okay. So yeah, thank you, Jackie. You guys can hear me okay, right? Thanks. So thank you for that. It's true. I am the other co-president, the one with significantly less responsibilities, and rightfully so. But yeah, thank you all for being here. By this time in our lives, the class of 2021 is more than familiar with the concept of high-pressure scenarios. From Mr. Ulrich's hostile takeover of the slaughterhouse to construction projects with an even worse attendance record than my own, and of course the pandemic, we have overcome some very large obstacles. However, only some of us will remember the class of 2021's greatest victory as something that I like to call the P-Gate scandal. Now, this is something that happened in 6th grade, for those of you that don't remember. It was a period of time that lasted a couple months where somebody would enter the boys' restroom, glance at the toilet, but then decide to pee on the wall instead. Yeah, and that was a moment of solidarity. For weeks, the administration was pestering us. They were asking us to name names. They quite literally brought in the WLPD to talk to us. But for weeks, we resisted. We stood strong. And you know, nobody ever found out who this fabled hero was, but rumor has it he still walks among us today. Some of us see P-Gate as funny, others of us are mature, but for me, it stands as a testament to what the class of 2021 is and how it's different from the rest. We have a sense of togetherness. Against all odds, amidst great confusion, we were able to unite in the face of adversity. Sorry. Some of the best memories made here at Westside are the ones made among friends. I like to think about a lot of these different moments that I've spent with you guys. For me, for example, I've been to a healthy amount of football games, and each time across the student section, there is a sense of unity that comes from the pride that we all hold with this football team. I remember storming the field after this highly celebrated win, and I specifically remember that energy and excitement that every student had to bring as we collectively conquered that field. It was really something special. I don't think we've ever been that excited before, except for like when somebody would buy the entire class popcorn at one of those Happy Hollow Friday lunches. We went nuts for that. Everybody who did that, you guys, respect. But yeah, these moments of unity are within the classroom as well. Whether it be our laser focus every single day in our small orchestra groups, or it's our collective trauma that we hold from the multi-genre project. Our class has found itself a handful of unforgettables, whether they be memories, feelings, scandals. They're something that we can hold on to and cherish as we look back, but something we can reflect on as we move forward. Now, this wasn't exactly a year which would have lent itself towards bringing us all together. Yet, I think we somehow managed to beat those odds. Yes, it wasn't ideal to have our lunch segmented throughout the day, but I feel like this allowed me to value the people that I'm eating lunch with more highly. Organizing club functions over Zoom was pretty terrible, but I think it helped facilitate working together and trusting each other just a little bit more. Having limited sporting events all year wasn't great, but it was made better by events such as the dodgeball tournament last week. Shout out to the lunch bunch, wherever you are. We were 0-3. At the end of the day, this wasn't a year that was destined to be great. It was something that ended up being pretty special in its own way, though. This whole year has necessitated a lot of changes in our ability to interact as a class, and I believe the ways in which we adapted to meet the demands of this school year have demonstrated an unwavering determination that every single one of us holds. Second page. I went into high school with an image of what I wanted it to look like. Suffice it to say, things didn't really pan out as intended. However, the most important thing that I've learned here at Westside is to find purpose in the changes that we experience. Looking back on the last 4 years, we have to take in both ends of the spectrum. We have these untouchable moments, but alongside them, we have these soiled opportunities. It's not perfect, but it's far from meritless. I always like to see this as the idea that life works in waves. Waves generally move in a pattern. When it goes up, it can often come down. And when it's down, it always finds its way back up again. Our 4-year experience has showed me that life can have a similar pattern. Things will fluctuate and things will fall short of what we expect sometimes. However, it's our job to make the most of each of these situations and find our way to see that wave come right back up again. Life is very rarely what we expect, and leading ourselves to believe any differently, leading ourselves to believe that change is an obstacle to be dealt with rather than a tool to propel ourselves forward, is to work against all the progress we've made thus far as individuals and all the changes we've overcome to get here, because we've made it pretty far. When things get to be challenging or unexpected, remember that this is only half the wave. Sooner or later, you'll be floating on top once again. As we disperse over the next few months to different states, attending different colleges, and pursuing different goals, it's important that we not let go of the tenacity that has brought us here today. It is a rare group of people that can get through all the twists and turns that high school has thrown at us and still come out at the other end with our heads held high. The road ahead is not going to get any easier, and in fact, many of us will probably yearn for the days where AP chemistry was one of our biggest concerns, at least me. But if the last 4 years have proven anything, it's that the people here today can go against whatever life throws at us. Just look at some of the things that we've achieved so far. Ranger has single-handedly destroyed the entirety of the school's math curriculum. Ross, I don't know where Ross is. Ross got one of the lowest SAT scores I have ever seen. It was honestly impressive. And Gretchen somehow made it into the musical 3 times, as if the first one wasn't enough. But all of this, that's just the tip of the iceberg. Our greatest challenges are still ahead of us, but because we are the class of 2021, so too are our greatest accomplishments. Thank you so much. I would now like to hand the mic to a good friend of mine. I met him at the bus stop in 5th grade, And then I found out he played Minecraft, and that was it. I knew we were on lock for like the next 7 years. So please welcome your senior class president, Ranger Kwong.
Sorry, just gotta get my papers ready. All right, can you guys hear me all right? Okay, thank you, Hamza, for the kind introduction. Actually, I want to appreciate the fact that there is still a picture of Hamza on the West Lafayette Intermediate School's website. Feel free to check it out. I'm pretty sure he's eating a Twinkie in it, so it's pretty cool. Good morning, everyone. My name is Ranger Kwong, and I am the class of 2021's class president. You know, they say that with great power comes great responsibility. And guys, I think I have to say I dropped the bag on the second half of that. I forgot the Heelys. I know, I'm sorry. I just forgot. It slipped my mind. All right, so I guess time for the real speech now. I'd like for us all to start off by closing our eyes and for a few moments thinking about the parents, siblings, teachers, friends, and role models who have supported us, encouraged us, and ultimately loved us throughout our life. Many of these people may be here right now. They may be up in those crowds. They might be sitting right beside you. They might be watching you through a computer screen at home. And maybe they aren't here right now, but I'm sure that they are still so proud of you. These people have been here for us since day one. Not even you were here since day one. We're high schoolers. We probably procrastinated and started on day 5. We should be grateful for the sacrifices that they have made so that you can be the person you are today. Now, this class has always held a special place in my heart. I moved to West Lafayette in kindergarten, and at the time, I was heartbroken. I thought I was leaving what I thought would be my lifelong friends. And I remember on the very first day, I was incredibly nervous. I walked into Cumberland Library's where my class was, and my teacher introduced me to a crowd of unknown faces. She said, "This will be one of your new classmates, Ranger Kwong." And immediately, Amok Chabe yells out, "Yo, you're a Power Ranger!" And it was then that I knew that I was home. We are one of the most eccentric classes that Westside has ever seen, and I'm so glad to have you all be the family that I've grown up with for the past 12 years. However, as I look at you all, I just think that after this ceremony, after the graduation parties, after the fanfare, I may not see some of you for an incredibly long time, possibly ever again. I don't mean to be so down, but it's true. We come from a multitude of diverse backgrounds, and surely we will have diverse futures. And maybe the only common ground is the 4 years we had together in high school. So whether you're off to Purdue, IU, New York University, Case Western Reserve, Princeton, Hope College, or any other great destination, I'd like to give you all some words of encouragement. First, leave a legacy. This year, our class created a senior legacy project, a tiled mural that will hang on the walls of Westside for many years. It's incredible how accurate the mural represents us. From the beautiful flowers to the inspiring message to Big Yoshi, I guess. It encapsulates the individuals of this graduating class perfectly. And for better or for worse, the class of 2021's legacy will be brandished into the school walls. However, our graduation only marks the beginning. You have the next several decades laid in front of you to grow an even greater legacy, one that cannot simply be contained on a 3 by 6 inch ceramic tile. In this world, there are problems to solve, traditions to break, records to pass, discoveries to be found, and inventions to be created. So go and search for what drives you to be your best self. To be yourself that leaves a lasting impression even after your time is done. And most importantly, a legacy does not have to be as spectacular as a cure for cancer or a Grammy-winning rap album, Hamza. Think back to the ones you thought of during that moment of silence. Some may have already passed, but that does not make them any less real or important than the rest of us. The mere fact that you still think of them proves that they have built a lasting legacy that lives within you. And in my eyes, the love they leave behind is the greatest legacy that someone can ever leave behind. Second, be foolishly confident. It's easy to become discouraged when failure surrounds us. Sometimes high school could feel like a bombardment. Okay. Sometimes high school could feel like a bombardment of test grades, disappointing athletic results, and tardy slips, even though it's literally fourth quarter senior year. Like, come on now. And if you think of our situation statistically, it only makes matters worse. At this moment, about 3.7 million teenagers across America alone are graduating from over 24,000 high schools. That's 24,000 graduation ceremonies, 24,000 class presidents, 24,000 valedictorians. There are literally too many people in the world for all of us to be the ones who will rise above the rest. But there's still merit in having foolish confidence because it's a generator. It's a driver that pushes us forward despite the failure, despite the hurdles, despite the cynicism of this world. I'm sure that most of you know about blue light glasses. Recently, I had a conversation with a good friend of mine who I'm not going to say the name of, but about blue light glasses. She found them to be super helpful. She had fewer headaches and less eye strain when staring at a computer, doing homework, after she bought a pair of blue light glasses. Now, the best part is that blue light glasses are bogus. Leading scientific research shows no conclusive evidence of them helping reduce eye strain or relieving headaches. So something was obviously off. And again, I'm not gonna name names. I'm not gonna expose Gretchen like that. But ultimately, despite the fact that there was conflicting research, I still believe that it helps my friend. Because her believing that the glasses help is a self-fulfilling prophecy. And in many cases, believing in what you do, who you are, and I guess the products you will buy offer more success than if you don't believe in those things. Put simply, it's the placebo effect. So embrace the placebo effect. Stay foolish, stay confident, stay foolishly confident. That's the true signal you should listen to. The rest is just noise. Classmates, this is only the beginning. From this moment onward, our stories will no longer converge, but rather diverge. So let's not make this a celebration of what has to come, but what is to come. Congratulations, class of 2021, and promise that you will always fly high. This is your fellow Power Ranger, signing off. I'd now like to welcome to the stage my good friend and blue light glasses enthusiast, Gretchen Bauman.
Can everyone hear me okay? Okay. First of all, I would like to thank Ranger for that wonderful intro. I will continue wearing my blue light glasses in college. Okay. Good morning, everyone. My name is Gretchen Bauman, and I am the Executive Vice President of Student Council. Before I discuss our Latin honors system and recognize everyone who has achieved those honors, I'd like to take a moment to reflect on an aspect of our education arguably more important than the cords that many of us are wearing. Though we have grown academically, learning how to write a paper in MLA format, to solve equations and titrate solutions, and so forth, the paramount value that our Westside education has instilled in us is the importance of striving to achieve one's own ideal of success. Needless to say, Westside is a difficult high school. It would be impossible to ever attain perfection and unwise and burdensome to expect it. Many of us had to learn this lesson for ourselves over the course of our high school careers. Whether that was getting our first failing grade on a test we thought we aced, confidently yelling out the completely wrong answer in class, or forgetting about an assignment, these failures prove to us that success should not be measured by how close we come to perfection. Instead, the obstacles that we have faced throughout the course of our education have taught us that just as we must shape our own futures, we must create the measuring sticks by which to judge the various triumphs of these futures. With that, I urge the class of 2021 to continue striving to meet your own ideals of success. As the old cliche goes, don't peak in high school. Whatever your aspirations may be, whether that's winning the next Nobel Prize or the highest achievement, getting your name on the West Lafayette Wall of Pride, continue to determine what success means to you, then don't stop until you reach it. And with that, it seems fitting to honor those who have achieved academic success through our Latin honors system. The West Lafayette School District has 3 types of honors designated by cords to signify varying levels of academic achievement and no longer has separate distinctions for valedictorians. The blue cord signifies cum laude, meaning with honor, and recognizes the students graduating with GPAs in the top 30% of the class. Could the graduates wearing only the blue cord please stand up? The blue and silver cords signify magna cum laude, meaning with great honor. These recognize the students graduating with GPAs in the top 20% of the class. Could the graduates wearing only the blue and silver cords please stand up? The blue, silver, and gold cords signify summa cum laude, meaning with highest honors. These recognize the students graduating with GPAs in the top 10% of their class. Could the graduates wearing the blue, silver, and gold cords please stand up? Thank you all for your time and helping me fulfill the dream I've held since the ripe age of 8 at speaking at my high school graduation. With that, I would like to turn the mic over to my good friend, Rayana.
Hi guys, my name is Rayana Alam and I'm the senior class secretary. We'd like to go ahead and recognize some amazing and bright students at our school who have been selected by WLSEF, or West Lafayette Schools Education Foundation, for their involvement and achievements in academics, athletics, and the community as a whole. Please stand to be recognized at this time. Congratulations to all of you. I'd now like to welcome my good friend Madiha Sadiq to the stage.
Can everyone hear me? Great. So I thought that I was going to have an easy speech, but as I was writing it, I learned that it most definitely was not. High school is difficult enough as it is. With COVID on top of everything else, students and the teachers alike had to make adjustments and overcome new obstacles. However, sometimes there are those who make those obstacles much easier to navigate. Our class feels if there's been one teacher who has been with us this entire time and helped all of us. That teacher is Coach Wood. Now, there's not much I can do to really sum him up as a person, but there are a few things that I'd like to just acknowledge. So one thing is that he has two distinct personalities, one when he's teaching and the other when he's coaching. According to Woody, he's basically Jekyll and Hyde. Although both are starkly different, they are both geared towards being a good role model and helping students better themselves. Coach Wood makes teaching not about himself, he makes it about the students. He teaches solely for the purpose of bettering our community, and at the end of the day, in the wise words of Woody once again, it's not about the wins and losses for him. It's if his students and his players leave his class and the court as better people, Coach Wood feels as if he's won. He maintains relationships and continues to keep in touch with former players and students. So although he's retiring, we're essentially stuck with him. Something to acknowledge again is that it is extremely uncommon to see coaches remain in the same place for 27 years. Coach Wood's been teaching for 45, and so over half the time that he's been teaching, he's been here with us. Coach Wood has made a commitment to our school and our students and our community, and we're very, very grateful to him. So without further ado, it is my honor to introduce our faculty speaker, Coach David Wood.
Am I supposed to ask and everybody hear me? I've never had to ask that question before. It's the first time I've ever worn an overcoat to commencement, but I wore this particular coat and this particular hat to honor Colin Martin. Where are you, Colin? There you go. I have to tell you that there is photographic evidence that when we go to away games, that Colin has gotten into my locker and put my coat and my hat on and paraded around the locker room. And nobody told me that until this year, but Colin, this is for you. Appreciate it. I also wore this hat because the other day, one of my students told me that I was, how do I say, bougie? Is that the right word? Did I say it right? Bougie, thank you. I'm bougie. And I thought if I wore this hat, and you know what? You turn it around. I don't know what bougie really means, but I think this is bougie, don't you? Let me pause for a second. The words of my mouth and the meditations in my heart be acceptable to you. It is a wonderful day. Weather's interesting, but hey, we're here to honor these people. Congratulations to you all. 49 years ago next week, I was sitting where you are. I was sitting and I had a red cap and gown, graduating from a school whose nickname was Red Devils. That's the truth. 1972, getting ready to go conquer the world, didn't know what I didn't know. And I've learned a lot since then, and so for a short time here today, I'm going to tell you some things that I've learned since 1972. Then we're going to get serious about a couple things, but hey, here goes. First thing I've learned, reading the Spark Notes. We called them Cliff Notes back then. Reading the Spark Notes didn't really adversely affect my education. It did, however, delay me understanding one very, very important realization in life, and that is this. The most relaxing and soothing activity there is in the world is sitting down and reading a good book. I didn't read a whole lot of them when I was your age, but I read a lot of them now. Yeah, so I hope you do that too at some point. I look out here, I'm in a great community. The vast majority of our students go on to some form of higher education. I know that. Catalina's going to Princeton, Hamza and Hannah are going to Case Western, Gretchen's going to Dartmouth, Ranger's going to Columbia, Sam's going to Illinois Wesleyan, Molly's going to LSU, Laney's going to St. Louis University, I think Keenan's going to UC Irvine, am I right about that? Maya's going to Texas, and I'm missing a whole bunch of you. These people can attest to what I'm about to say. A lot of them. College is great. I think it's the most freedom and the least responsibility you will ever have in your life. Put together. They laugh because they know I'm right. There's one word I want you to take with you when you go to college, however. I think it's the most important word you can learn when you go to college, and it's this: moderation. If they're paying you to be there for some specific reason, Haley, you can't approach cross country and track with moderation. Yanni can't approach football with moderation, and DeAndre and whoever else is going for a particular reason. That's probably not a good idea. But fun, you need to learn moderation. Some of you, sadly, might go to college and have a great time for 1 year, and they won't let you come back for your sophomore, junior, and senior year. But learn moderation. I think sometimes when you study, moderation is a good idea too. It's not all bad that you don't know every single thing when you go into that test. But I think that's really important when you go away to college. Have some fun. Just make sure you remember moderation. Next point. Learned this after I got out of high school. People have said this to you. People have said this to all of us probably. Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. Whoever said that was a complete idiot. Words hurt. Words can hurt badly. Words can heal, but they can really, really hurt. I think one thing you need to learn is to use language properly and think about what you're saying. When you say something in anger, you say something inappropriate, you can ultimately apologize for that, but those words are there, and you can't take them back. Somebody else said, when you're mad, count to 10 before you speak. Whoever said that was really, really smart. But be careful how you use language. Next point. Almost all of us, not all of us, but almost all of us have a choice every day. And that choice is your attitude and how you approach each day. I'm a health teacher, and so I know what PTSD is. I know what clinical depression is. I know what a lot of different mental and emotional disorders and diseases are. I get that. And that might make that choice hard for some people. But most of us have a choice about how we approach every day. Abraham Lincoln said very famously, most people are about as happy as they make up their minds to be. I think that's true. I hope you will choose happy. Richard Carlson wrote a book called Don't Sweat the Small Stuff. And the subtitle of that book is It's All Small Stuff. And the point is, don't let the everyday things that you've got to do bog your life down and keep you from living your life in a very happy way. Choose happy. Lincoln also said this: we can complain because rose bushes have thorns, or we can rejoice because thorn bushes have roses. I believe it's in your approach to every day. You have that choice. I hope you make a good one when it comes to your attitude toward every day. Now let's get a little serious here. Not that I wasn't serious before. One of the things that I've enjoyed doing with my students, if you were in my health class, and certainly if you've been on my team, we do a lot of thoughts for the day. In basketball, if they don't know it at the end of the day, there's a punishment. But as Medea said, I enjoy teaching life. And one of my favorites is this. Sam, Ross, Jordan, Colin, help me out. You can scream it. It says, every bigot, what is it? Was once a child free of prejudice. I'm going to say it again. Every bigot was once a child free of prejudice. Sadly, we've renewed the platform of bigotry and racism in our country over the last few years. In the 18th century, Voltaire said, those who make you believe absurdities will make you commit atrocities. I'm going to say it again. Those who make you believe absurdities will make you commit atrocities. Think January 6, 2021. Abraham Lincoln said, nations do not die from invasion, they die from internal rottenness. racism, sexism, homophobia, Asian hate, bigotry toward Christians, bigotry toward Jewish people, bigotry toward Muslims, bigotry toward people of a different sexual orientation than you. The one thing I want you to understand about these things is they are not genetic. They are not genetic. People have to learn these things. These are learned behaviors. These are learned attitudes. I've met a lot of white folks in my life, met a lot of black folks in my life. Met a lot, you live in this community, I met a lot of Hispanics, met a lot of Asians, met a lot of teachers, met a lot of cops, met a lot of coaches, met a lot of clergy, met a lot of Christians, met a lot of Jewish people, met a lot of Muslims, met a lot of straight people, met a lot of gays. Here's what I think. About 98% of all these groups, and pick another group, about 98% of them are good and decent people. There's a couple of percent of almost every one of these categories that I don't want anything to do with. But I have to make that decision, and you have to make that decision when you meet them or you learn about them. Don't lump people in a big group and decide that you don't like them as a group. I don't think it's our job to be the judge at all. So here's my challenge to you. You be the generation that stops teaching young people hatred and bigotry. You be the generation that stops teaching young people bigotry and hatred. It has to stop. It has to stop. It's interesting that Will Smith very recently said, racism hasn't gotten worse, it's just gotten recorded. A lot of truth in that. It's just gotten recorded, which brings me to social media. I think social media is one of the best things that's ever happened to our world. I also think social media is one of the worst things that's ever happened to our world. It's a great way to keep up with people, right? You guys are going to do a better job than my generation did of keeping up with each other because of social media. In my opinion, it's the reason Derek Chauvin is in jail, where he belongs. Social media, being able to share that with other people is the reason that happened. It's also a great way to lose a job opportunity. By posting something that a potential employer is going to see. It's a great way to lose a job opportunity. It's a great way to perpetuate and spread bigotry. It is. Every day. It's a great way to spread a lot of things that aren't so good. Be very careful how you use your social media. Be very, very, very careful. Moving on. Martin Luther King Jr. very famously said, "I have a dream today." Don Quixote, in one of my favorite musicals ever, Man of La Mancha, sang about dreaming the impossible dream. My favorite movie of all time, I'm that Mr. Hyde coach, but hey, don't tell anybody. My favorite movie is The Sound of Music. My wife hates it when I put that on because I sing every song and say every word in the movie. But yeah, somebody else likes The Sound of Music. The Reverend Mother in The Sound of Music tells Maria von Trapp that she's got to follow every rainbow till she finds her dream. And then there's Pretty Woman. You ever seen that movie? There's the dude at the start of the movie, at the end of the movie that says, "Welcome to Hollywood. What's your dream?" Right? He's pretty bougie, I think, too. When I was your age, my dream was to be a high school basketball coach in Indiana. For 27 years here, I've lived my dream. People ask me, "How you doing?" I say, "I'm living a dream." They think I'm kidding. For 27 years, I have lived my dream in this school. And with you, many of you and some of you back here, it has been a dream come true for me to be a part of this community and be a part of this school. Figure out your dream. Figure out what it is. Okay? Go for it. Go for it. And I have one bit of advice as you go for it. My players are going to help me here. They know this is my favorite thought for the day. Let's say it. Never give up. What, are you still helping me out there? Say it. Never give up what you want most to get what you want now. Never give up what you want most to get what you want now. Don't let something that gives you short-term pleasure deter you from your real dream in this life. There's a lot of people who live their lives just that way. They give up what they want most to get something that gives them short-term pleasure. I hope you don't do that. I've learned a lot from these people, from students, faculty, administrators who have come before, from people in this community for 27 years here. I simply want to thank you and thank all of you and everybody else in this community for bringing real joy to my life. I mean that sincerely. Many of you sitting here in red robes and caps and gowns will miss that place over there at 1105 North Grand Street. Not all of you probably will, but I certainly will. I'll miss the people that are there, but I have to tell you that I'm excited for what comes next for my life. For my wife is in the back. She is, I got to tell, I just told you I live my dream, but I'll tell all of you here that she is also my dream come true. I'm excited for what's coming next for us in our lives. And for you, I'll simply say this: the future doesn't talk. The future doesn't talk. We don't know what's going to happen. So we just have to try our best and see what happens. Congratulations to all of you. May God bless all of you. Thank you very much. Amen.
to Mr. Bennett and our talented singers for that performance. As we announce the names of our graduates in the class of 2021, you may notice that some graduates are not in attendance today and are attending by live stream, so there may be some names read and no graduate crossing the stage. Shall we begin? Keegan Alexander Adams. Paulina Nicole Adams. Anya Asan. Kenneth Zondrel Allen. Rayana Zainab Alam. Hana Khan. Ranger Jinyi Kwang. Jackie Lei Shan. Hamza Ali. Gretchen Wynn Bauman. Madiha Iman Sadiq. Keith Chad Allred. Aditi Anand. Mitzi Phil Diane Anaskal. Emelina Natasha Abino. Ava Madeline Beck. Hadia Sophia Benjamia. Mitchell James Benson. Michaela Ann Faith Burkott. Nicolo Bevilacqua. Ruby Blanco. Will Riley Bausman. Avery Marie Bradley. Shad Austin Bray. Rachel Olivia Briggs. Aiden Alexander Britton. Ross Allen Brummett. Ethan Dale Bum. Benjamin Asa Cabot. Joseph Carlton Capitos. Rashmeet Kaur Chandhok. Sri Chandrika Susila Chengalvala. Michael Chen. Gwen E. Clements. Carson Aaron Cook. Amir Ali Crockett. Ian Samuel Curtis. Grace Michelle Cherwonki. Reese Michael Dar. JD Delp. Jared Bradley Deutsch. Alyssa Monet Dickelman. Ava Catherine Doty. DeAndre Taiwan Douglas. Ian Francis Dufair.
Nice job, guys.
Maxwell Scott Edwards. Jonathan William Iman. Melissa Belen Fernandez. John Curtis Gaddy. Daniel Wynn Gavin. Arjun Jacob Grama. Dan Gui. Paulo Gabriel Gumasing. Allison Karis Hale. Ethan Hallbrooks. Noah Bradley Hallberg. Jillian Grace Hammock. Yejun Han. Keenan Abu Harb. Parker Scott Haymond. Andre Lowen Hasbun. Cody Jacob Hinton. Ella Margareta Hook. Qingyan Helen Huang. Ramisha Iqbal. Jacob Robert Jenkins. Dylan Matthew Jordan. Journey Michael Hundos. Natalia Aniela Kaluda. John Matthew Karloftis. Julian Mark Kaufman. Lillian Rose Kuiper. Haylin Kim. Jake Kim. Olivia Sky Kirby. Eleanor Helen Kirchner. Nia Florence Coe. Molly Ramsey Cormanis. Jordan Allen Krentz. Sarah Amelia Kaufman Kurtz. Rachel Niarqua Lobby. Christopher Jae-hyuk Lee. Isaac Gustav Lichty. Emma Janice Levy. Jane Liang. Delaney Oriana Lockett. Nalani Anye Lockett. Paris Lucas. Patrick T. Lucas. Jackson David Lusk. Haley Marie Mansfield. John Michael Mansfield. Ella Grace Marks. Addison Ann Marshall. Colin Thomas Martin. Esteban Martinez Calderon. Sophie Emily Remus Bongo. Kelsey Lynn Milam. Aiden Matthew Miller. Gavin Roy Moulter. Hannah Claire Morris. Asetu Ndao. Lucy May Nichols. Maya Niogi. Meredith Ann Knoll. Adeline Yejin Park. Jeffrey Park. Joshua Jaesung Park. K. Patel. Kara Aaron Penquite. Beck Peters. Emma Jean Phipps. Catalina Posada. Aiden Emilio Rajeb. Hadley Jean Rhodes. Catherine Evelyn Rhodes. George Edward Rickus. Ella Mae Romig. Hannah Elizabeth Russell. Fuad M. Samara. Samuel James Shaber. Molly Rebecca Scher. Samuel Frederick Schott. Matthew Scott Schroeder. Abigail Christina Sarah. Joseph Peter Siciliano. Luke Michael Silver. Amelia Kathleen Klein Simpson. Aditya Krishnan Sivathanu. Logan Kenneth Smith. Treasure Marie Anthony Sparkling. Cassidy Marie Speaker. Anna Elizabeth Steffi.
Having technical difficulties. We want to get you the right. Don't always happen. This is it. Congratulations.
Noah Holden Stenberg.
Okay. I wasn't sure there was one for you.
Camilla Strachan. Lainey Caroline Sturgeon. Samantha Rose Sudoff. Matthew Robert Talbert. Atta Tamer. Alan Tan. Owen Robert Taylor. Leah Tyndall. Rachel Kumari Topo. Elizabeth Renee Tracy. Kendall Mian Tran. Anna Sophia Troutman. Declan Francis Toomey. Amara Alexis Van Meter. Lisbeth Alejandra Venegas Maldonado. Ben Von Werder. Ellen Patricia Walbaum. Alicia Wong. Wenson Wang. Benjamin Carl Waskren. Vivian Ruth Wells. Catherine Layla Worley Bross. Joshua Andrew Wilcox. Charlotte Maeva Young. Zoe Zhang.
Hello, can everyone hear me? Okay. Hi everyone, I'm Hannah and I'm the senior class vice president. I know Ranger talked about legacy in his speech and I'm going to as well. This was a complete coincidence. I swear I'm not plagiarizing. That comment is directed towards the English department. As these last couple weeks of school have flown by, I've become quite overwhelmed. I've been continuously thinking about my legacy, and I'm sure many of you have been reflecting on this as well. What type of influence have I made on anything during my 18 years of life, and what influence will I continue to make? Next year, someone else will be standing at this lectern giving a much better graduation speech than I am, and this will continue years after I graduate. Just how special am I really? When we start to ask ourselves these questions, we often think about leaving large-scale impacts so that people remember us years down the line. We create lofty goals for ourselves and set out to change the world. Now, don't get me wrong, chasing your dreams and leaving a lifetime legacy are wonderful things. However, I'd like to share a memory that enabled me to create a necessary mindset for myself. I'm not sure if she's here today, but I had Mrs. Porterfield for 3 years throughout my time at Westside, and some of my fondest memories have taken place in her classroom. In 7th and 8th grade honors math, I frequently would doodle during class instead of actually paying attention to the material like any 7th or 8th grader would do. I loved drawing little flowers or henna art on scraps of paper or on my math homework. Surprisingly enough, Mrs. Porterfield let me doodle during class, and she even collected my doodles after I would finish them. I hope I don't get her in trouble by saying that. I kept doodling in class even after being caught, partly because I didn't want to pay attention, mostly because I liked the attention. But fast forward to my senior year, and I have Mrs. Porterfield again for AP Statistics. One day I came into class to say hi to her. She took me outside to the hallway, and lo and behold, I saw my doodles taped to her door and inside her display case. I had forgotten about them, but Mrs. Porterfield had kept them for 5 years. With complete honesty, that moment both touched my heart and eased my mind. After this experience, I came to a mental conclusion. I truly believe that each one of our lives holds meaning. Why? Because every action we make affects another person. We live on a two-way street of continuous change. It's like the butterfly effect. We're constantly evolving due to the actions other people make, even if these actions seem unimportant. My small doodles that seemed insignificant in my perspective were significant to my math teacher. Your legacy does not need to include becoming, let's say, a world-famous philanthropist in order for you to be classified as a significant life. Merely existing in this world allows you to create your own legacy, a legacy based on how you treat others, what choices you make, what you create, and who you are as a human being. A legacy that lives on inside the lives of others. Ultimately, everyone here has culminated me into the person that I am today. I am a mosaic of your consequences, and I'll carry your legacy as I navigate throughout the rest of my life. I genuinely hope that I was also able to positively impact at least some of you during my time here at Westside, and that I maybe even made it onto your mosaics as well. I'm so grateful that I was able to spend 8 years in West Lafayette with some of the most amazingly bright, kind-hearted peers, students, and teachers that I've ever met. Thank you so, so much for all the memories that we've shared. So now it's time for us to contribute to our own legacies by turning our tassels. During graduation ceremonies, graduates wear their tassels on the right side of their caps. At the end of the ceremony, they move their tassels to the left side, signifying a transition from student to graduate. We're going to do just that in one moment. All graduates, please rise, and I welcome Dr. Killian to the lectern.
Well done, class of 2021. I can't think of a better class to go out with than you. Coach Wood, well done. Great career, well stated. Thank you, my friend, for everything. School board, administration, teachers, and staff. Last July, they told us that we would never make it to this point. Class of 2021, and all of us working together, we proved them wrong. So when people tell you you can't get to the finish line, you can't get it done, don't listen to the naysayers. Follow your dreams, follow your passions, and you will be successful. Board of School Trustees, based upon the information received from faculty and staff that the students standing before you have fulfilled all requirements prescribed by the Indiana Department of Education. And with the authority given to me by the state of Indiana, I do hereby pronounce that the students standing before you are now graduates of West Lafayette Junior Senior High School, class of 2021. You can move your tassels from right to left. Ladies and gentlemen, the class of 2021.